van a estar conduciendo el diálogo con los artistas Najlaa, el Ageli, que está aquí, la primera en la fila. Ella es una de las co-comisarias de la exposición. Ella es de origen libio, reside en Londres ahora mismo y es la directora y fundadora de una entidad que se llama Noon Art Project, una plataforma realmente que ha trabajado intensísimamente en los últimos años para poner en valor y dar a conocer, dar visibilidad y voz a un montón de artistas, sobre todo de Libia, que es su país de origen y que tan difícil tienen poder salir y darse a conocer fuera, pero también últimamente no solamente Libia, sino todo el contexto del norte de África. Y junto a ella, Toufik Douib, de origen argelino, y bueno, pues también imprescindible en esta visión del arte joven y emergente que vamos a poder ver en esta exposición, que está tan conectado a todo este mundo de las redes sociales y de la comunicación rápida y de la imagen visual como un elemento absolutamente imprescindible para trasladar mensajes y crear sobre todo una red, una comunidad identitaria, que es un poco de lo que trata también todo esto. Junto a ellos están 4 de los 19 artistas de la exposición que han tenido el precioso gesto de venir hasta Madrid para acompañarnos. Está Basma Harnafi, Combo, Rasha Amin y Ilyas Masaudi. Así que nada, no me extiendo más, les dejo el micrófono y la palabra. Gracias.
Good evening, and thank you everybody for coming. And I want to thank firstly Casa Árabe for giving us this amazing platform to exhibit this great exhibition, pop art from North Africa, which was exhibited first in London in 2017 with a collective of 18 artists from the region. And it has been an absolute pleasure creating the project. We started 3 years ago, and the journey, this is the second sort of stop for us in an international platform, and we have also grew up with this exhibition, me and Toufik, where we have added more artists at this time from Sudan and from Mauritania, and new artists from Morocco and Tunisia. I don't want to stay, talking forever. The exhibition was really about shedding light on what's happening in the region in terms of the young voices, and we focused on the media of pop art because it is a very easy sort of approach to the public, where the public can relate to it easily, and the work is a reflection of what's happening in terms of the social and political sort of context of what's going on in these countries. And as we're talking, there's a revolution happening still in Sudan and another one in Algeria. And things are shifting rapidly in the region. And the artists are talking about a lot of issues, from gender to women's rights, to democracy, to freedom. So many subjects are touched upon by the artists themselves, and hopefully you will see it. And I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to give my microphone to Toufik. Oh, he has. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for making it today in this opening. Again, thank you to Casa Árabe for giving us the opportunity to bring Pop Art North Africa on a second edition, maybe with a more Mediterranean twist. We have 18 artists, 7 countries. And as Najlaa said, this is an evolution from our first exhibition. And it grew, obviously, with everything happening now in the regions. It is a tribute also to the unity and the cohesion in the region. There are many things that are linked between the countries, but at the same time, it is maybe an ode or tribute or celebration to our collective identities altogether. Obviously, using pop art as a medium to make it more digest or more accessible to read from a Western audience, although there is obviously an interest with the connection with Spain being an important country in terms of historical and geopolitical. So So we're very pleased to have this exhibition in this very beautiful space. And we have also our 4 artists with us today, so really pleased to have them with us. And if you have any, obviously, questions and comments.
So we should start the conversation.
Let's start.
Yep. Go ahead.
So maybe the audience, or they would like to know first why pop art and why North Africa. We decided to take this exhibition together, or this project, because we saw a lack of maybe representation of North Africa as a whole region, and the perception is usually very complex in terms of identity. North Africa is either between Africa and the Arab world, and obviously seen as the South Mediterranean is an interesting corner. And I would like to know maybe for each artist their perception of pop art in their respective countries. Elias? You can speak about you.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Je peux parler en français. Alors, donc moi en fait, voilà, Ilyes Messaoudi, je travaille sur un projet de longue haleine, donc les 1001 nuits. J'en suis, c'est-à-dire je vais revisiter les 1001 nuits, donc livrer une version contemporaine des 1001 nuits qui n'a rien à voir avec le conte, mais qui est vraiment en liaison avec la Tunisie en premier lieu, et avec le monde arabe, et après, enfin, c'est des problématiques qui se trouvent aussi dans le monde entier.
So Elias's work is maybe a reinterpretation of the 1001 Nights, the Persian storytelling fable, but he used it in a contemporary way. That's how the pop art comes in. So the 1001 Nights of Sherazad is a young Tunisian girl, maybe who lived before, within, and after the revolution. And we see through her stories 1001. So it is a project where he aims to bring 1001 artworks. Now he reached 100 already. And in each story, it depicts a social issue, a struggle of this lady or of Tunisia as seen today in the contemporary maybe angle, looking at different issues of gender, the role of women, LGBT rights, and other minorities.
Voilà, tu as presque tout dit. Donc voilà, quelque part, je travaille sur la mémoire collective aussi. Et donc mon travail contient beaucoup de références anciennes de l'histoire, parce que je crois aussi que l'histoire, elle est en train de se répéter. Donc j'affronte ces références de l'histoire avec des références contemporaines aujourd'hui, parce que l'art aussi, il a un côté autodidacte, un côté éducatif. Donc voilà, en fait, le message que j'essaie de passer, et ce côté éducatif que j'essaie de passer, c'est-à-dire, c'est pas vraiment ce qu'on peut trouver aussi à l'école, ce qu'on peut apprendre vraiment d'une façon, c'est-à-dire directe à l'école, parce qu'on a une éducation aussi qui reste officielle, mais donc c'est l'éducation par l'art, et c'est les choses qu'on peut apprendre que par l'art, et donc voilà, donc c'est pour ça que le côté populaire aussi pourquoi pop art, tu as demandé la question, parce que voilà, en fait j'essaie de rendre mon œuvre le plus possible populaire, vraiment vulgariser l'art, le rendre accessible à tout le monde. C'est pour ça que chaque toile, elle est accompagnée d'une petite histoire qui traite un sujet particulier de la société voilà, tunisienne, arabe ou bien du monde entier. Donc, voilà.
In brief, why pop art through Elias's work? So it is a work of collective memory and maybe retracing the history of Tunisia, but in a contemporary or more current modern angle. obviously using the arts as a medium to educate people, and why pop? Because pop is also comes from popular, so make maybe this art more popular, which means more accessible to different audiences who may have not been educated in school, universities, but through the art or through maybe life. Let's see.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. First of all, I would like to thank Najlaa and Toufik for giving me this opportunity to be part of this project. Such a pleasure to be here tonight and with the other amazing artists. Thank you one more time for Ms. Nouria and Casa Árabe for such a great venue and well-organized exhibition. Let's talk a bit how I came up with this project. I've been working on this theme of popular culture or pop culture of Egypt since 2014-2015, focusing mainly on the most characteristic features in Egypt or in Cairo specifically. And for me was the vendors you can see in the street, local street food, and performers dancing, creating this kind of mixed media painting with different sizes. And I wanted to also include the pop art of the cinema, Egyptian cinema, but with the use of different medium, which is the digital art, using my computer. Which will lead a different direction because this is like a mass production. I have more control what I'm printing on, like a fabric or acrylic or different sizes. So I'm in control of so many things. So I did. This is the mixed media paintings of the that I started with. And I create stuff like pins to put on the jacket and the bags and wall art and the installation of the pop art. And I wanted to focus on the period of 60s and 70s, which had a great impact on the Middle East and Arab world. And thanks to this media at that time and Egyptian cinema, our Egyptian dialect became widely spoken in the whole area. Also, I wanted to include the most common words they were using during this film. I selected 5 different movies with the main characters and made them like a set, 5 different sets, as you can see outside. That's it.
So hello, my name is Combo. Actually, I'm a street artist. Just to let you know, what I have here is 2 big canvas. One with the light, light on me. I have to scare a little bit. Now I have 2 big canvas inside here. One with the Coexist logo, and other about a terrace in Paris, or woman is drinking. Just to let you know about me, actually, my work is more on the street. And what I put in the street, I like to mix a lot of things to give another point of view about something. So the Coexist logo that I paint here, the first time I painted it was in Paris after the attack about Charlie Hebdo, and I was really sad about what I hear about Arabic or Muslim on the media. So I start to paint the logo and also passed up myself, a big poster for myself, wearing a beard and a big jellaba. So some kind of Muslim or an imam, I don't know. But the idea it was to show that there are some Arabic that they think differently. And this is how I put things on the street. Actually, my mom is Moroccan, my dad is Lebanese. So they are mixed. I'm mixed. This is why I'm love to mix things. And just to respond to Toufik about what is pop art in North Africa, I think that our generation is more connected than ever. Just to let you know, last week I was in Tanger in Morocco, and I was eating in a restaurant some tagine, And we was looking at the TV about football. We was looking at Madrid playing against Valencia, Copa del Real, and you lost. Sorry, guys, for you. And we was talking with Hassan, the owner, and of the restaurant, and we was talking about the Brexit in UK. So, can you imagine that in small restaurants in Morocco, how we can be connected? So our generation is really connected. This is why we all mix think, and this is why when you can go and see my canvas, you will see a lot of different details that you can find about religion, about what is to have a kid, about a lot of issue about what is to be a woman and who have a scarf and she wants to drink or smoke in a terrace on public space in Morocco or other country in North Africa. So we all talking about some issue that interests us, and this is, I think, the thing that we do.
That's core of the exhibition, yes.
Yeah.
Sarah here, she's more of nostalgic memory, and her work, I think, it's quite interesting to hear her point of view of how she uses popular sort of culture interpreted in her own way, in her dreamlike interpretations of Morocco.
Yeah, first of all, thank you to you and Toufik and Casa Árabe. I'm really happy to be here, part of pop art from North Africa for the second time. My work actually is about love and dreams, and I'm trying to share my vision of the world, talking about some issues such as migration, such as finding happiness, such as the salary of the people in Morocco, the way of life in Morocco, but in a different way. It's a dreamy way. I'd like to share something that would bring people to dream, to travel, to escape from the realities. It's like I'm working about, my work is like surrealistic, and it's not real. It's something we can dream about and just escape reality. Yeah. The series called La Terre s'envole, La Tierra despega, I think. Yeah.
The series of the work. Yeah.
I'd like to know your perception now of North Africa. Obviously, from the first exhibition we did in London, there was 5 countries: Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, Morocco,
Nigeria,
and Libya. There's always a debate about Egypt being in the middle of the Middle East and North
and
Africa.
Yes.
We did include this year. It was important for us to include
Sudan
and Mauritania. I would like to know your perception of maybe the other countries of North Africa, or even as this experience of exhibition when you saw works of other artists from the other countries, how it reflects to you, maybe to your country, the references, the links, and the individual identity within.
I've been traveling a lot recently, and what I got from all this traveling is that we all the same. We share the same thing. We have the same interaction, the same connection between us. So especially in art, it's so much connected, and especially this exhibition, it's beautiful to see the very much connected from different culture. But at the end of it, it's the whole work together. There is a harmony in it. So. Of course, it's like Egypt and the other countries and in North of Africa. Yes, I know that Egypt has a bigger role, and has a bigger influence on the other region. And of course, the same thing for the art, and more or less like Elias' work is inspired by fairy tales or 1001 Nights. Yeah, so it's the big tale, the big story is all over the world. Many people have read it, but everyone has own version. The same thing for the art, and that's it. I don't know if I answered your question.
So art can connect maybe more these countries that they may not know each other very well, or they may not think they connect.
Oh, you mean here? You mean here?
Through this exhibition, your perception of how the art, how this exhibition, or how pop art connect, the region or the countries from the region together.
I think you can see it in, let's say, when Kulthum is used.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she's a very important icon to the Arab world in general. And Elias used her, Karmkart used her.
It's very familiar what I'm seeing from the other object, the other elements they have
and
used.
And then I think the other links, as well as like the Sudanese artist Rayan Nasser, how she depicted the women, her women series of the evolution of how women have changed from the 1920s up to 2010. And I mean, the more I look at it, the more I think, my God, she can do a series about women in Libya, women in Egypt, women, and you can see a parallel of what they're going through, because it's like, a house of cards that just affects each other. It's like exactly what's happening in terms of the politics.
Exactly.
And it's still very fluid, it's still really, really fluid. We don't know yet what we're reaching, but the links are there. And then if you look closer at Algeria and Morocco and Tunisia, and you can look at the artists' work of how they use their heritage in the works, let's say the mosaics or the music, or the architecture, and it comes part of the representation,
like
or
big,
even the clothes, how they dress up.
One big resource, and each one of us has received it differently, and from our points of view, we create what we create. This is it. Yeah, I think so.
And how about social media? Because for me, reaching out to most of these artists was through social media. And it plays a major part of how you guys sort of reach out to a lot of people through Instagram, through Facebook, through Twitter. I think it's a major part of your message is social media, isn't it? And how you guys use it. I mean, all of you, even Combo, I think you use it a lot, no?
I can talk about it more actually about street art, because when I started to paint, I was a teenager. I was 16, 15. So I'm old now. I'm 32.
You're not old.
Not old. Okay. Yeah. At the beginning, we don't have Facebook. We don't have Instagram. We were all connected by forum. We were sending message to all other graffiti artists and sending our picture about what we paint on a wall or some trucks. And when we were sharing, we was creating like a new community of thinking of artists or what we like. And when we was traveling actually in each city, we was finding another graffiti artist who can let us a bed in his house. So we was really close, even if there are some people in Ukraine or Russia or here in Madrid too, or in Italy actually. And now we reach to other people, and it affects us a little bit, because the communities become larger, and people who was really purists, who was really to like to share only how artists, how community start to be less follow, and less follow actually. I think the really issue that we have with Instagram, that's the big thing that we have now, is there are a lot of artists who are exhibit because they have a lot of followers. It's known that when you are in gallery, if you have like 50k follower, you will be exposed. And I was not raised like this. I was raised with the like of sharing with people.
Yeah,
so,
interesting.
Yeah, it's affect us.
I think it's affecting the whole art world in a sense, where social media is becoming this other platform where your work is judged separately than what it is
probably in reality, but it gives it more validity sometimes. Is that what you're saying? Yeah?
Actually, it's for...
And it's a bit, yeah.
It's not only for art, it's for everything. It gives us the power and the tools to share with people.
Yes.
So we are now the master of the medium, and we need to use it well.
Yes.
We can be an influencer about cafe or ice cream, if you like it.
You're absolutely right, because one of our artists from Sudan, Abdurrahman al-Nazir, he uses, we can't reach him. He's in the middle of a revolution. I even thought he died during about 2 months ago. And he's an activist. He's a lawyer and an activist, but he's a great, artist as well. And social media is Instagram is his platform. He's telling us the story of what's going on. And as you can see in the exhibition, you will see it. First he started with just showing us what Sudan is about, its popular culture, its famous musicians, its football players, all of that. And then suddenly when the revolution happened, it became his tool to show the world what was going on. And he has huge followers. And he's a very humble human being, but his art really depicts what's going on, and it's like it's archiving this moment in history of what's going on in Sudan. And I think he's, as you said, he's quite in control of how he wants the message to come across, and he's using it brilliantly.
At the same time, I think social media in some countries is a tool for artists who cannot
to
show
be
their
liberated.
work in their countries. There's a lot of taboos or politically sensitive issues or topics that
the control.
They cannot be discussed about. I know the Algerian artists like Moustache, who we are showing here, will not show his work in Algeria. So using social media as his maybe virtual gallery is a way to be free. So it is a tool for freedom as well for many artists. I don't know, for you, Elias, for example, the work that you show is very obviously touching on different taboos. Do you think that showing it through social media helps maybe Tunisians to have a different perception or to discuss about these topics easily or in a more free way?
Oui, bien sûr, parce que en fait, faut dire aussi que la révolution tunisienne, elle a en partie été faite avec Facebook, c'est-à-dire les manifestations et tout ça, ils étaient organisés sur Internet et on se regroupait dans des endroits et tout ça. Et après, pour les artistes aussi, ça a explosé sur Internet, sur les réseaux sociaux.
So the Tunisian revolution started through social media, and obviously the Tunisian artists took over and used this platform to obviously tell the stories of what's happening now. How about your work specifically?
Moi aussi, en fait, en allant à Paris, c'est-à-dire quand j'ai commencé, c'est-à-dire j'avais pas des galeries, j'étais même pas en contact avec des galeries en Tunisie, je les connaissais comme ça, et j'ai commencé à tout partager sur Facebook et sur Instagram. Et petit à petit, en fait, je me suis fait une petite communauté de gens qui suivaient les 1001 nuits tous les 2-3 jours. À chaque fois que je finissais une toile, je la partageais avec le petit texte. Les gens, ils suivaient, et c'est comme ça que j'ai créé un petit public, en fait, autour de l'œuvre. Et c'est pour dire que les réseaux sociaux, ils ont vraiment contribué énormément à la petite notoriété que j'ai réussi à avoir pendant les 3 ans qui viennent de passer.
So social media helped him to promote his work and get a network as well, and that's how he could connect with galleries in Paris. That's where he's based now. But how about the taboo part, or talking about touchy topics through social media in the region or in specific countries where it's maybe more complicated?
C'est vrai qu'en Tunisie, en fait, même avec l'avancée qu'on a eue pendant les années récentes pour les libertés d'expression et les libertés individuelles surtout, c'est-à-dire on avance vraiment très très bien par rapport à plusieurs d'autres pays du monde arabe. Peut-être sans prétention, peut-être le premier pays qui est vraiment qui devient vraiment le leader pour les autres pour avancer sur la question des libertés individuelles.
So Tunisia is leading in the topics of freedom of expression compared to maybe other countries of the region. But is it enough? You're saying maybe it's not enough.
Oui, c'est jamais assez parce qu'il y a toujours voilà, l'État, la politique et tout ça, et on reste voilà. Mais qu'est-ce que je voulais dire?
You got that.
Mais c'est-à-dire, voilà, en fait, c'est-à-dire, on a la possibilité aussi d'exprimer tout ça et il y a un espace, c'est-à-dire, mais après, bon, les galeries, les institutions et tout ça, ils accueillent pas ça facilement. Donc,
it is still complicated for maybe galleries or institutions or spaces, even private ones in countries like in Tunisia, to show specific works that's sensitive because there's still maybe pressure of the politics of the government.
Oui, c'est politique. La police, elle est partout, hein, donc on ne peut pas parler par exemple, des questions LGBT. Tout à l'heure, on parlait, par exemple, de l'exposition qu'on avait organisée l'année dernière, qui a été accueillie à l'Institut français de Tunis. Et après, tout le monde était furieux. Pourquoi l'Institut français? Pourquoi c'est eux qui doivent montrer ces choses-là de nous, alors que ça existait depuis la nuit des temps partout dans le monde et spécialement dans les sociétés arabes. Et pourquoi c'est la France qui doit représenter ces sujets-là? Donc,
so like for LGBT right project that was shown in France about LGBT Tunisian artists or
en Tunisie,
in
Tunisie, dans l'Institut français.
In the French Institute in Tunisia. So there was a discussion about the right of showing, maybe, or depicting issues or political issues through a Western angle.
Donc, malheureusement, il n'y avait que cet espace qui accueillait cette exposition. Après, ça s'est bien passé. Ouais, après, il y a aussi la Goethe Institute, mais c'est toujours un institut qui est vraiment étranger, qui n'est pas tunisien. Mais
it's usually foreign or Western institutions or spaces that allow such topics or events. And how about maybe Combo as well, because you touch on politically engaged topics, and you use social media as well to maybe challenge audiences about that?
Me, I like to, when I paint something on the street, I like to put something really strong. So I don't know the name here, but do you know Tintin? Tintin?
Tintin.
Yeah, okay. So you have it. Okay. So yeah, I paint like huge wall in Paris. It's like more than 10 meters, and I put Tintin. He's kissing the Captain Haddock. Because for me, I was reading it. There are two men. They're living in a castle with only a dog. So yeah, for me, they're gay. That's it. So when I painted in Paris, still it was hard to paint it. It took me 2 years to have the authorization. Still, there are people coming and spray paint on it. I receive a lot of message of anger, and it's only two men kissing. And you don't see him really well. They are hiding like this. So if it's hard in Paris, it's even worse in Morocco. I will not try it. I will not even going to try it. Because, people are going to beat me. That's sure.
Or kill you, yeah.
Yeah, but I can maybe be famous in Morocco for that. So I will think about it.
Okay, let's take the lighter note of pop art. I mean, a lot of the work is also celebrating local brands. Let's say, like Skandaros using harissa, and glamorizing it in a very Western sort of it's an icon of Tunisia and of North Africa. When we see that brand, we all know this is the best harissa. The same thing with another twist where you use it a lot. You use a lot of the icons. I just saw you with one of in your painting, the drink. What was it? The Moroccan, you told me?
I create alcohol from Morocco.
You recreated,
Marrakesh.
And you used a lot of sort of traditional connotations with the bottle and how you want to show it. So that this is the interesting bit for me also about what the artists are doing, where they are actually using their own local sort of icons or local symbols or that are related to their heritage or something that is as simple as a Coca-Cola, and how they are taking it back and show and exposing it and using it as a metaphor of what they want to talk about. And it's quite apparent in a lot of the work, like Sarah as well, Sarah's work, where she has the tea, with the tea. I mean, I would love you to tell us more about the story of how Moroccan tea.
It's a lot of inspiration from the streets and my love for tea, Moroccan tea. Actually, it's a man traveling in a teapot and trying to reach his love. And he is with a flower, and the flower symbolizes the love. The flower is in all my paintings. And it symbolizes loves. I have also one image with the donkey. The donkey is everywhere in Morocco, so it's. I love donkeys.
And also the soup, the harira.
Yeah, the
and
harira.
It's a banquet. So it's a very traditional, but quite it's like a symbol of Morocco. For even for the North African region, we know that harira is the specific soup that you have, especially in the month of Ramadan, and you really somehow glamorized it, and it's become such a it's a beautiful artwork.
Yeah, and it's not only in Morocco that we have harira; it's like common to.
Yeah, but what I like how you sort of made it. It's a popular dish that you've glamorized it in a sense, of its meaning.
I like to show in this illustration. I like to show that even if we don't have enough in Morocco, we can share what we have.
Yes.
So that's the real meaning.
And then with Elias, he used a lot of the also Tunisian popular singers, Tunisian icons, and it's apparent in the storytelling where he uses a lot of the songs written by Nabiha Karaouli, and they are so, they're love songs, but they are, they reach out to everybody, and how he reinterpreted them into his artworks, and they're telling the story of Shahrazad in a modern twist, which I think is quite is beautifully done. Where you are, it's to do with the identity of Tunisia, the popular art of it, and at the same time talking about what's happening. So it's like a fusion of all these things coming out in the work. And then Russia, for me, I think the films, as you said, of the 70s and of the 80s, I think there's 60s, 70s. And they were so popular everywhere. I mean, I remember, I'm older than all of you. I know them by heart because we used, cinema was Egyptian cinema was a major sort of part of our culture, all of us, anywhere. And the Zuzu and the Grandchild, they weren't only comedies or musicals, but they were also talking about what was happening in Egypt.
Yeah, the changes that happening in the Egyptian society, and it's creatively written. Like they were, of course, discussing the problem and the conflict and the changes, as I said before, of the Egyptian society in a
sarcastic way. Yeah.
So it was very creative. That's everyone can remember this. Yeah. But this is the main of the pop artwork that we spotlight on the most iconic things, and we, of course, we mix it or we make it direct toward the audience, and this is how it goes. All the exhibition. If we see around, you can see each country they spotlight on their icons and play a bit,
Or Western icons like Hala with Marilyn Monroe, who is
like made her into a Libyan lady,
or Moustache, who used this passage from the Godfather movie where he's holding
the bread.
And he said work in Arabic. So it's interesting how pop art was born, obviously, in the US in the 50s, 60s, but we could reuse it or reinterpret it in a Maghreb way and reinterpret it in a way and maybe reappropriate it to both pay tribute to our identity and our collective identity.
And this is what we are aiming for this exhibition to show.